Please tell me you're going to do more than just drive this to the mall.
Let's just say it's more fun to off-road somebody else's vehicle than your own.
It's been a long wait for Bronco fans, but these are finally trickling into Ford dealerships. Thing is, this isn't the rig a lot of people think it is. It's not the Bronco. Bronco Sport has a rugged look, no doubt there.
2 thumbs up.
It doesn't seem to matter that this isn't the real Bronco.
Super thankful they started to make a mid-size off-roader again.
Yeah.
It's going to be a huge hit for the Blue Oval brand.
There are big differences between the two Broncos. Bronco 2 and 4-door, which will be available in the summer of 2021, are built on a truck architecture, allegedly the same one that will underpin the next generation Ranger, while the Bronco Sport here rides on the same platform as the Ford Escape, leading a lot of people to think that this is just a poser or a soft roader.
Here's a taste of what it can do. But let's go over the basics before getting into that. Bronco Sport isn't all that large. It's some 8 inches shorter than Escape with a wheelbase down by 1.5 inches. Sorry to say, you can't buy this version of the Sport. First edition models are sold out. The Badlands model with the Badlands package is super close, so buy one of those if you like this one. The $2,600 option group adds niceties like heated and powered leather seats, upgraded 10-speaker Bang & Olufsen sound, a way to see the sky, heated wheel, and reverse sensing system, good for not backing into a boulder. There's also the camera system, not like the tech on a Land Rover Defender, but the front view comes in handy. Totaled up with $600 Sabre orange paint. That sure looks yellow to me. The total here is $39,300. The huge difference between Badlands and lower Bronco Sport models like Big Bend and Outer Banks is found here. This 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder makes 250 horsepower and 277 pound-feet of torque. Interesting sound. All others run with a 1.5-liter turbo 3-cylinder, making 181 horses and 190 pound-feet. All Sports come with all-wheel drive and an 8-speed transmission. First edition and Badlands gearboxes get improved cooling plus manual control. Also added is a sophisticated dual-clutch rear diff that's lockable. And there are 2 more GOAT modes, which stands for Go Over Any Type of Terrain. Here, there's mud ruts and rock. Also, a nice graphics show. Nearly all Bronco Sports will spend most of their time on paved roads. So let's cover that first.
Compared to the 3-cylinder, the 4 has an additional 69 horsepower and 84 pound-feet of torque. It's definitely a better kick in the pants. 0 to 60 happening in about 6 seconds.
It weighs 3,700 pounds. There's a pleasant growl from the engine.
The 8-speed has seamless shifts and at speed kicks down nicely. See what I mean?
Chances are there'll be some amount of travel time to get to the trailhead. Because of the boxy shape, Sport brings some wind noise along for the ride. It's not a big issue, but people are getting pretty spoiled in CRVs, Rogues, and Equinoxes. Even with tires oriented towards some off-roading, the tread noise isn't imposing. And remember, Bronco Sport rides a little higher, so there's that center of gravity thing to keep in mind.
On this twisty-turny road, the driving dynamics of the Bronco Sport are not half bad. Is it as good as a Mazda CX-5? No, but it is much better than a Jeep Compass Trailhawk.
I wouldn't call it overly refined, but it's perfectly acceptable for everyday use. The independent suspension is much more tolerable than solid axle. Steering is on the firm heavy side when cruising. I've not driven the 3-cylinder Sport, which has a slightly different suspension setup, so I can't tell you the difference in ride quality, but I highly prefer the 4-cylinder to the 3.
From what I remember when driving the Escape on the highway, this is not as comfortable. It is more oriented to off-road, and when the pavement gets choppy, you can kind of hear the suspension.
There's a good chance this tester with 5,000 miles on the clock has seen some extremely hard use. Listen on your test drive. This model can tow up to 2,200 pounds. The EPA rates the fuel economy at an average of 23 miles per gallon. Not impressive, at least it drinks regular grade fuel. Unlike Escape, Bronco Sport has no option of any kind for a hybrid powertrain. With a 16-gallon tank, it means a range of around 370 miles if gas stations are scarce.
In highway driving, the Escape with the same 4-cylinder and all-wheel drive gets 5 miles per gallon better fuel economy. That is your lesson in physics, kids. This is not a very aerodynamic shape.
There are cliff faces with more windswept profiles.
Nearly all cars come with automatic engine stop-start systems. Let's check this one out. That is pretty darn smooth. Take your foot off the brake. And that is also pretty smooth, and it's pretty easy to turn off if you really don't like it.
Standard Ford Copilot 360 includes active electronic safety tech like automatic emergency braking, blind spot warning, automatic high beams, and lane keep assist. That Badlands package adds adaptive cruise control and evasive steering assist. No matter your destination, you'll always be looking at this. Bronco Sport's off-road attitude means there's some expectation that materials will be solid and utilitarian. Some of them, like the cloth inserts, have a rugged, purposeful appearance. Others look like the accountants stepped in. I feel the same way about other Fords, especially Escape. The vinyl floor is smart, easy to clean up muddy messes. You want a place to stash your wallet? Take your pick. There are all sorts of clever places in addition to the expected spots. Storage is pretty well done in here. Wireless charging too. The user interface runs Sync 3, not the top 4 system. The layout is simple. Touch response is on the average side. Not a lot to get excited about other than standard Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Ford offers up plenty of redundant hard buttons, which are on the small side.
Voice recognition is pretty good. Set the temperature to 72 degrees.
Setting temperature to 72 degrees.
Natural speaking prompts, though, not so great. I'm cold.
No phones have been previously paired with Sync. Please refer to the Sync screen to continue pairing your phone.
See?
So Martin and I were shooting on a new road, and we kept seeing all sorts of off-road machines. A lot of them, a constant stream at times. So we followed a few and ended up here with some serious machines.
I'm pretty secure in my masculinity, but looking at all this...
To our surprise, the Sport quickly became a celebrity.
So I'm thinking my Bronco Sport against this. What do you think?
You never know.
Well, I know. I'm not delusional.
Tire size and everything, yeah, I mean, probably couldn't quite keep up, but like I say, you never know.
We asked around for an easier section. Time to test.
Okay, for starters, if we can get into here, we're golden. We just need to get in. Not bad. Little prang, that's okay. I would definitely not do this in a Ford Escape or a CX-5.
The next quarter mile or so is a cinch.
This is apparently called Lover's Lane. It's very easy. You could almost do this in a Civic once you got past that one rough spot.
But I'm looking for something to test the Sport. Ford says the 7.4 inches of wheel travel is best in class. Ground clearance is 8.8 inches. Badlands models add bash plates to protect the expensive bits. The springs are different, and there are hydraulic rebound stops.
Let's see what we've got down here. Nope. Nope.
The first rule of off-roading is know your limits.
Just so you know, in GOAT mode, we're in rock mode.
And while there's freedom in knowing that this is not my machine that's getting flogged, I'm big on returning vehicles with as little damage as possible.
Okay, and watch the stump. Not bad.
Like Subaru Forester, Bronco Sport does not have a low-range transfer case, but the GOAT modes tailor the drivetrain well, letting it chug along in rocky conditions.
This particular model has trail control. It's like a low-speed cruise control that works under 20 miles an hour, so you can just concentrate on the terrain ahead.
After 20 minutes or so, I got pretty confident on moderately tough terrain. It's hardly modified Wrangler good, but it has doors, helpful for everyday use.
So this can ford up to around 24 inches of water. That is something that we're not going to have to worry about. Okay, this is a little questionable. Okay, if you don't hear that every once in a while, you're not trying.
After an hour of various terrain, it's pretty clear Bronco Sport has some chops. It does look a little out of place here, but it is getting respect.
I like it.
Which I find fascinating.
Gotta say, I'm really curious about the back seat space, since Sport really isn't all that big.
Let's start with the bump in the roof. We're both 5'9". I have that much headroom. Impressive. Also, knee, leg, and foot room. Pretty good for a vehicle this size. Cushions high enough so that my thighs are well supported. Door openings, they might be a little bit on the small side. No biggie though. Door pockets, those are big enough to be useful. This is kind of cool. There are MOLLE straps to hang gear off of. Not only are there two pockets, they are zippered. Ford says that these aren't insulated, but it sure feels like they are. Heated seats, not available back here. Some models have storage underneath this seat cushion. Normally, I'd really like this, but it means there are no USB ports to charge my phone. The drive shaft tunnel, not all that intrusive. Like the front, this is easy to wipe out. 2 adults will be pretty comfortable back here. As far as 3, well, maybe for short trips to the wilderness. But again, this is not a very big vehicle. Let's talk about the design. Ford gave it all sorts of big brother Bronco cues. People love it. Various models have different roof color treatments, but all get the safari bump. It looks sturdy, but it isn't a caricature, and it drives like a cream puff on roads, so it'll have wide appeal. Ford has said that Bronco is kind of a sub-brand, and it's pretty serious about that. The only blue oval easily found is right here. Again, I can't tell you how many people thought this was the truck-based Bronco, but people lost no enthusiasm once I explained it was a crossover on the Escape architecture. I'm on record saying the Sport will be a cash cow for Ford, and I'll double down on that. It has the potential to be its best-selling model, other than the Ford F-150, of course, if they can be churned out fast enough in the Mexico plant.
There's an awful lot going on back here, starting with this. Really nice if the cargo hold is full of small things and opening up the tailgate would send everything out. You can continue to load from here. The tailgate has a bunch of really cool things built into it. If you push this button, you got this. And not only do they light the area, they're movable.
The grab handles double as places to hang wet clothes. The outlets will power one of those fancy coolers or charge a computer. Plus, a built-in bottle opener for your Mexican Coca-Cola or Fanta made with real sugar, so it's a health food, right? Lots of these clips that hold securely, too. The load floor is very sturdy, and because Sport should see some trail use, a full-size spare is included. Very smart. The material has some grip, so things don't slide around easily, and I do like the fact that the seat back protectors are removable for hosing down. It's a little bit of a reach to drop the seats from the rear, but my Levi's are already dirty. No pass-through or 40-20-40 split seats happening. Options back here include an internal bike rack and a table for tailgating. There's nearly 61 cubic feet in max cargo mode. 3-cylinder models get an extra 5 cubes for some reason. Seats up, there's 29.4 here. Again, a little smaller than the 3-cylinder, but still good enough to handle 8 packs of TP, which could outfit a national park campground for at least a week, I'm thinking. Let's get to red light, green light. Green light. The sport's design captures Bronco mania like lightning in a bottle. The Badlands model has honest-to-goodness off-road chops. Most owners will never test it. Lots of clever features like pockets, tailgate lighting, and opening glass section that make this a Leatherman tool on wheels. Yellow lights. It's comfortable for everyday use, just not on the level of CR-V, CX-5, Forester, and Escape. Adults will be good to go and back unless they have very long legs. The Sync 3 user interface is okay, but I know that Sync 4 is a lot better. Red light. Bronco Sport's blocky shape means fuel economy is low. Powertrain choices are slim. You will buy the Badlands if you want 4-cylinder power. And cabin materials look kind of cheap, even on the top model. Throwing in another $50 worth of trim upgrades would go a long way towards owner pride. Again, this first edition is equipped like a fully loaded Badlands, and at $39,300, it's reasonable for what Ford offers. Just be prepared to pay full MSRP for the foreseeable future. Demand is high, maybe because it conjures up a lot of nostalgia.
I had a Bronco too back in the 80s, but it was nothing like this.
It gets a surprising amount of respect.
You do know that this is not the Bronco, right?
Noted. Still, pretty good.
Seems like Ford has another successful franchise on its hands.
Seriously, if you're only doing moderate off-roading, Bronco Sport will do you fine.
This may not be the full-on Bronco 2 or 4-door, but it's all the Bronco that many people need. Hats off to fellow Pacific Northwesterner Ryan Douthit, who pointed me towards this area when my original off-road section fell through. He's got a great channel, Driving Sports TV. Check it out. I think he beat this up on his video more than I did. And
Special thanks to Martin Campbell. We came up to this off-roading place and neither of us are familiar with it. So, man, you really earned it this time. Off-road. Yep.
couldn't do this without Martin. I made him very late getting home on this shoot because I was having too much fun. I should be thanking our wives. And have to show you this. Man, what a nice Bronco. She came to check out the sport.
So you like it, but
I'm definitely more interested in when the real one comes out.
the real one.
Yeah.
I get it. We're all waiting for the real one. Finally, the folks gathered at the off-road park were super helpful with guiding us to the right trails, so that's really appreciated. It was funny to see the yellow Sport in this environment. It looked a bit dear in comparison.
Well, I had fun. Hope you got something out of my look at the 2021 Ford Bronco Sport. This is the end. Time for the fun fact, Easter egg edition. Let's start with the back. It's best to open up the rear glass to see this one. Look, it's a cute little Bronco.
And down where the glass latches, that's the mountain range. Moving to the front, the headlights, each one has a Bronco logo. Every time you fuel up, which is easy because it's capless, there are the original Broncos. A lot of speculation whether there's going to be a new pickup Bronco. Ford should do it. Inside the liner where you would put your wallet, take that out, and yeah, there you go. A little incentive to tidy up, huh? And here's something that you'll see when you buy the vehicle and install your plate for the first time. Yep, a reminder where it all started.
Those are the ones that I found. Owners, if you have any others, leave them in the comments, okay? And remember to subscribe. Every Tuesday, you get a high-quality car review video just like this one. Even during the pandemic, I kept producing. Great photography, excellent information, and if that's not good enough for you, you can pretend that it's Coach Pete Carroll doing car reviews. I get that a lot. I live in Seattle. I've met the guy a number of times. We really don't look all that much alike, really. I could pass for his baby brother, though. That I probably could. But I am Tom Voelk, and that's Driven. I've started up a quote service so you can get your best deal on a vehicle. I will say though, Bronco Sports are really hard to get. I don't think you're going to be getting a deal on this, but try the quote service anyways. You might get something. You might just get one of these.